Karen called cops. Gave me 1 hour to leave. Too bad I hold the sheriff's badge. The sun hung low over Willow Creek, casting golden streaks across the quiet cul-de-sac where I'd lived for 20 years. I'm Sheriff Tom Harlan, badge number 47, a man who'd spent decades keeping this town safe. But today, my own neighbor, Karen Whitaker, decided I was the threat. She stood on her porch, phone pressed to her ear, her voice slicing through the evening calm like a blade. Yes, officer, he's trespassing. I want him gone in an hour. Her eyes locked on me, venomous, as if I'd burned her house down instead of planting a row of marigolds along our shared fence. It started with those flowers. Karen had always been particular, her lawn manicured, her mailbox polished, her life a performance of perfection. When I planted the marigolds, a nod to my late wife who loved their fiery glow, Karen called it an eyesore. She claimed they encroached on her property line by 6 inches. 6 inches. I offered to move them, but she didn't want compromise. She wanted war. By noon, she'd posted on the neighborhood app, rallying others to her cause, calling my garden a blight on our community. By dusk, she'd escalated to the nuclear option, calling the cops on me. I stood in my yard, hands on hips, the weight of my badge heavy in my pocket. Karen, this is my home. You can't just evict me, I said, voice steady but burning inside. She smirked, waving her phone like a victory flag. I know my rights. You'll be gone by nightfall. The audacity floored me. I'd arrested drug dealers, broken up bar fights, and comforted grieving families. But this petty crusade felt like the biggest betrayal of all. Then, a cruiser rolled up, its lights flashing lazily. Deputy Mike, my right-hand man for 15 years, stepped out, looking sheepish. Tom, she filed a formal complaint. Says you're violating property codes. I laughed, bitter. Mike, you know this is nonsense. Check the records. That fence is on my land. He nodded, but his eyes darted to Karen, who was now filming us with her phone, narrating like a true crime podcaster. This is what happens when power corrupts, she declared to her invisible audience. The neighborhood watched, curtains twitching, as tension thickened. Old Mrs. Delaney, who'd baked me cookies every Christmas, whispered to her husband. Kids on bikes slowed, sensing the drama. I felt the town splitting, those who knew me as the sheriff who'd saved their homes from floods, and those swayed by Karen's relentless campaign. She'd painted me as a tyrant, a man abusing his badge to terrorize her with flowers. Then came the twist. A rusty pickup screeched to a halt, and out stepped Ellie, Karen's estranged sister, who'd left town years ago after a family feud. Nobody expected her, least of all Karen, whose face drained of color. Ellie, wiry and fierce, marched up, clutching a yellowed envelope. Karen, you hypocrite, she shouted, loud enough for the whole street to hear. You're screaming about property lines? You've been forging Dad's will to claim this block for years. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Ellie thrust the envelope at me. Tom, look at this. She's been lying to everyone. I opened it, hands steady despite my racing heart. Inside were document surveys, deeds, and a notarized letter from their late father, proving the land Karen claimed was never hers. It was mine, inherited through my wife, her cousin. Karen's jaw dropped, her phone slipping to the porch. That's not true, she stammered. But the evidence was ironclad. Mike, now at my side, radio dispatched to verify. The truth hit like a thunderclap. Karen's entire crusade was built on a lie. But victory felt hollow. I looked at her, a woman unraveling, her perfect facade crumbling. I'd won, sure, but at what cost? The neighborhood was fractured. Friends I'd known for years now eyed me warily, poisoned by Karen's words. Ellie, her voice softer now, said, Tom, I came back to make this right. I'm sorry it took so long. Her apology stung, a reminder of how deep family secrets could cut. I nodded, but my chest ached. This wasn't just about land, it was about trust, community, and the venom of division. By nightfall, Karen was gone, her house dark, her car packed. She'd lawyered up, but the evidence was airtight. I stood by my marigolds, their petals glowing under the streetlights, and felt no joy. The badge I wore, once a symbol of justice, now felt like a target. Mike clapped my shoulder. "You did right, Tom. But this town, it's changed." He was right. Whispers would linger. Some would always see me as the villain Karen painted, not the sheriff who'd served them. The next day, I planted more marigolds, a quiet rebellion against the bitterness. Ellie stayed in town, helping mend what was broken. But the scars remained. I wondered if justice was worth this cost. If winning meant losing the heart of Willow Creek. I looked at my neighbors, some waving, others turning away, and felt the weight of a truth too few understood. Division, once sown, doesn't easily uproot. What do you think? Who was right, who was wrong, and can a community heal when trust is shattered?